Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 9 of DeOrganized. I am PeaceLoveMusic, your host, and I've got Jack Binswish on my side. Haddy should be joining us soon as my co-hosts, and we are super excited today to have Dr. Chiente Hsu, a longtime friend of ours, awesome creator and builder in the Stacks ecosystem, co-founder of Alex Labs. Welcome, Dr. Hsu. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good, and thank you for dragging me out of my cage and come to this fantastic show. The intro was something. What a great opening! What a great intro! Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to chatting with both of you in the next few hours, if you want.
Yeah. We'll go as long as you're willing to chat with us. Well, actually, I guess it depends on how long Nick's willing to let us go. But to be honest with you, we don't even really need Nick because I know how to run the show now. So Nick, we'll go as long as you like. And I'm so excited to have you here. For those that don't know, Dr. Chiente. I want
Call
to call
me
you Dr. Hsu
Tienda,
because I
please. Call me Tienda.
yeah. I
Otherwise, you're
tend to
looking at
get
a medical
formal.
doctor. They call me when they have issues, health issues. No,
You're just
I'm not that kind of
you're a
doctor.
you're a gigabrain doctor, which we need more of around in this space. So co-founder of Alex, the which stands for Automated Liquidity Exchange. A lot of people aren't aware of that. It's the first decentralized finance platform on Bitcoin. Through the Stacks blockchain with an extensive background in traditional finance. You previously held senior positions at major Wall Street institutions like Credit Suisse and Morgan Stanley. You transitioned into crypto and DeFi, driven by the desire to address inefficiencies of traditional finance, which we witnessed firsthand in 2008 financial crisis. And thank you so much for coming to this space and building out amazing tools to make the Stacks ecosystem more functional. It's amazing work that you've done. I love your platform. So what does that give us a little bit more on your background and what drove you into the Stacks ecosystem specifically?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, by the way, you did your homework. Thank you for the background. So, I was born in Taiwan and I grew up in Vienna in Austria. And teenager, you go to Austria, you don't speak a word of German. And then, when the professor writes something on the blackboard, you understand the equation, but when he talk a joke, you don't understand at all. So that's how I started becoming a little bit quanty, love the math, love the equations. And then I got my PhD in economics, econometrics. That's where the doctor come from. So don't call me for your health issues. And then I really wanted to stay in academia. I love research. And so I was a tenure track professor in financial econometrics, financial economics. And my research at that time, I don't think anybody would be interested right now because if you look at the paper I wrote, it's just so boring. Maybe there are 5 people on earth who will understand what I was writing. But anyway, so Wall Street called. So I joined Wall Street, became one of the those quants that are coming up with trading strategies. So you can predict, ahead of a time, or you can predict, if you have all other assets, you can say, okay, but what this as particular asset is going to do. So one of the first quant like doing this type of thing, and just tell you a joke as a professor, coming to the trading floor, I was so arrogant. I was telling everybody, one day my model and my machine are going to replace all the portfolio manager and traders. Which, honestly, we're not far from it, right? So that's how I started my Wall Street career. I was really lucky. I was given really a piece of white paper, say, okay, just go to build a quant business, right? And you think about who want to invest in those quant business. Lots of money managers, such as pension funds, right? From the small pension fund to big pension fund, and also as real money asset managers, we call them, they do want to have exposure to systematic stuff, right? They don't want to have some big shot coming to what they think about dollar yen. They want something that is data driven with proper model and coming out with predictions. So they want to have exposure to this, but they don't have the bandwidth to develop those strategies themselves, or also they don't want to invest heavily. Hedge fund is quite expensive, so they would go to banks like Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and everybody has this piece of business is called quant trading strategies, and they will invest in those strategies that the bank come up with. So I went from Credit Suisse, and then I took a break, wrote a book, and then joined a hedge fund, which is specialized in foreign exchange, so like dollar yen, this type of currencies. And funny enough, the emerging market currencies, the risk return characteristic is quite similar to crypto because it has some skill and it has this big volatility, right? And then afterwards, Morgan Stanley asked me to build up the quant business there. And then COVID hit, my 5 Bloomberg screen just screaming at me. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I want to do something meaningful. And I know our CTO and my lovely co-founder Rachel for quite some time because we used to work together. And then we three just start talking about, how we really, we both have kids, right? They have kids, I have kids, what do you want to, leave to your kids when you are not in this world anymore, right? We can go on, climbing our corporate ladder, be MD, be global head, be partner, be whatever, but what, my mom doesn't know what I'm doing at Credit Suisse or at Morgan Stanley. So it's really Chang, by the way. Chang Ang is our CTO and also the CEO of Xlink. He just started talking our ears off, and Rachel told me, "Oh my God, he's addicted." He started talking about Bitcoin. He started talking about DeFi, and then so we three really just quit our job. We so Rachel quit JP Morgan, Chang quit Goldman Sachs, I quit Morgan Stanley. So we started, wanting to build something on blockchain, public, decentralized blockchain. So that was more than 4 years ago. But the number one question is, where do you want to build? By the way, if I talk too much, just shut me down. I can talk for hours about our story.
No, listen, I'd love so. I have lots of questions for you, but I love letting my guests talk and tell us. You're the subject matter here. We're here for you to tell your story, not for me to talk. So
all right. But do ask me a question. Is that we're having coffee, or it's too early for me to drink? I guess it's too early for Mississippi to drink. But then somewhere is the right cocktail time, so we're having a drink.
4 o'clock somewhere, yeah.
Always. Exactly.
Exactly. We're in the same time zone, and after 1 p.m., if I feel like it, I could have a whiskey at my lunch meetings. That happens sometimes. And actually, I'm not far. I didn't realize you were out in New York. I'm only up the road in Rhode Island. I'm only a few hours away.
Oh, so we have no excuse not to see each other.
We have no
less than 3 hour drive. No, we have to.
Less than 3 hours overnight.
Yeah, less than 3 hours. Yeah. Anyway, so we started, and we start thinking about which chain we want to build, right? And because I'm not, arrogant, but I'm saying our background is very special for anybody, for any chain, for any investor, because suddenly you have 3 people who have track record coming out of Wall Street, the quants, they want to build DeFi, right? Where should they build? So we were really ruled by lots of chains, in particular, the start with A. They said, okay, 2 weeks later we are launching you, right, globally. But then, so I was really excited, and then I was chatting with one of my very good friend, Professor J.P. Singh. I don't know if you know him. He's actually one of Munib's Ali's thesis advisor. So I say, JP, we're going to launch on this chain that start with A. He said, no, you're going to launch on Stacks. I was like, what is Stacks? I've never heard of Stacks. By the way, it's 4 years ago. Nobody heard of Stacks.
Right.
Only Stacks people heard of Stacks, right? So it really started from there. Then he got us to meet Munir, Trevor Owen. Trevor Owen, one of the big figures
Pizza
within
Ninja.
statistics and then Ninja. So they were starting to have their first accelerator program. So we meet really, really the nicest people within Stacks. And then at that time already, that was 4 years ago, is about, Bitcoin right. They can read Bitcoin, PO X, and then their next, big step is about Bitcoin right. Bitcoin right means that, something like SPTC type of thing. Now we were really, really excited. So if somebody say you can build DeFi on Bitcoin, we were so naive at that time, right? We thought, wow, building Bitcoin DeFi. We didn't know all these technical challenges because we were not developers. We were quants. We know computer science, but we were not crypto. You say native, put it that way. So that would be great if you can build Bitcoin on DeFi. So we started there and we started understanding every day more and more the technical challenges, such as, not taking away from Stacks, right? Just like, Bitcoin is not a smart contract layer. I remember I gave a speech. I'm so embarrassed. I hope nobody would dig out that YouTube. I was like, yo, on Ethereum, you have to use wrap Bitcoin. You have to go get a Bitcoin wrap and then you can use DeFi. On Stack, you don't have to. You use directly Bitcoin. I was like, 4 years later, we are almost there. We're not there, right?
Hey, sometimes really great ideas take some time, right?
I know, but remember what we talked about before we started live, yeah. But you also need a great amount of money to get your entity, that you keep your entity alive, right? So that was a big challenge. So I would say we started 4 years ago. We started the accelerator program thanks to Trevor. Really shaped our language, shaped what Alex is, automated liquidity exchange. And then 3 years ago, we mainnet launch. We were one of the first DeFi project on Stack. The first one was Arcatico, by the way. Heads up to Philippe and Co. Right? They were the first one. They launched the the USDA. We were the second one. So our strength still is always we are the first and biggest DEX, the exchange. Because if you think about, and coming back to, what our mission is, right? Our mission is not to save everybody or make everybody rich. Our mission is really to expand Bitcoin economy. Then you start thinking about, okay, let's digest every word, what I just said. What does it mean, expand Bitcoin economy, right? So Bitcoin, I think we three all agree, and your audience, because they are here, they will also already agree. I'm saying hi to everybody here. So we all agree.
We have a lot of friends watching us now.
Hello, friends. I love you all. And I'm so sorry I have been in a cage. And thanks to these two wonderful hosts to drag me out. As you know, I have been, anyway, I have been building and fighting.
When I wrote an article about Alex a couple of years ago.
I know, I loved it.
We were talking, and the thing that stuck out to me the most, what made me be like, okay, they get it, was when you were like, Bitcoin and what we're doing with Bitcoin is going to allow anyone, anywhere on earth, the opportunity to participate in financial markets. We in the first world, we take it for granted how easy it is for us to leave our home and go open a bank account. We take all these things for granted, and most people don't have that luxury. And so that demonstrated that you have the big picture in mind, because that's really where this is all headed. This is all about taking, when people like to have discussions about privilege, this is real, like actual privilege. Like the ability to just participate in a financial market should not be a privilege. It should be open to anybody. And that's how everyone grows.
Finance is human right.
Right.
Money is human right.
Right.
Right. And then from the economist's point of view, you look at the income distribution is bimodal, right? So which means that it's like two humps, right? The rich countries, developed country, they are this one. And you have the other one, which is here. And then you ask yourself, why are these distribution on the left hand, they have such a low income? And the main reason, because they cannot jump into those technological innovation. That's three of us are so privileged to use it and be exposed every day. And finance is one of them. I mean, give you an example, right? And then we talked about that many years ago. I have three examples, and I like to use from women's point of view, right? My daughter, right, 17-year-old, based in New York, she needs to have a Citibank account. It takes her more than bloody 4 hours, right? And she still hasn't got it. And her parents are completely, basically, a banker, right? She can't get it, right? She cannot yet jump into this financial innovation. She can't use Venmo, Zelle, and this type of thing. She's in New York. My mother-in-law is in Senegal, right? She cannot have a US dollar account. And Senegal is it's a stable country, 6-7%, GDP growth, but it's a very young country. The average age of the Senegalese population is 17 years old. India is 22, right? 17-year-old, there are not enough jobs. So that economy is a trickle-down economy. You have money, you give to the less privileged. You have a little bit, you give to those who have even less. Every time we send her money, via, those vendors, easily 6 to 10% is gone, and it takes days. I mean, these are real problems, right? Or think about my mom coming from, China, mainland China to Taiwan. At that time, no way she would get credit to send my older brother to college. So they had this, this neighborhood, private credit, everybody save. And then, every month, one person, one house would take the credit to do whatever they need to do, repair the house, send kids to colleges. These women should have the right, or this economy, this population, they should have the right to, jump onto those finance innovations that three of us are so used to, right? Zelle, Venmo, consumer health, pay later, right? This type of thing. Save, stay for their kids, get interest, right? Anyway, so blah, 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 blah. They get me so excited when I talk about it. Please shut me down. Otherwise, all your audience will be gone in 10 minutes.
We're all getting a wonderful education, right?
Yeah, and they're all here to listen to you. They're not here to listen to me. I learned that early on. I'm a good host because I ask a couple questions and then let you go. But yeah, it's great. Yeah. I love what I'm hearing. I love the energy you bring to the space too. But you're right. What you're in it for is to provide a better future for all of us and the next generation to come. And to provide an inclusive means of engaging in just exchange. It's not even just about finance. Exchange is a form of communication. Finance is an extension of exchange, so the right to transact is really what we're on. And you're helping build out the functionality to make the rails actually useful and usable to the audience. So it's awesome stuff you're doing.
Thank you.
Haddy's actually. Are you there, Haddy? You keep coming on and coming out, dropping out. How are you today, man?
I hope you can hear me. So
yes,
I apologize. My wonderful laptop decided that it would like to update itself. So I have to do it from the phone. So I apologize profusely that you can't see me. You can see my wonderful avatar. But welcome. Thank you very much for coming on the show today. And sprechen Sie ein bisschen Deutsch?
Wow. We need subtitle now. Who is going to do the subtitle of German to English?
I have a hard enough problem with one language, so it won't be
I
me.
think Nick might be able to help us with that, but I'm not sure how long we're going to go for in German. 'Cause I don't.
No, I think
Oh,
Nick is
that's
Dutch, so
Oh, is it Dutch? Oh, Nick doesn't.
Oh, well, you know what? Yeah. At the end, we all speak Bitcoin language. That's what I have
That's
to say.
it.
That's
Yeah.
And math
Yeah,
is a
so-
universal language.
Absolutely.
But that's what makes me
Yeah.
wonder. Like,
Mm.
what do you think? Because from where I'm sitting, we're on the verge of what looks like the beginning stages of mass adoption for Bitcoin and even crypto. And, it's become a nation state level phenomenon now, which, even 4 years ago when you all started building Alex, that was still into question when that would happen. Some would question back then if it would happen. So we're on the verge now. So what does mainstream adoption, what does it look like? The path from where we are right now to getting somebody in India or some other nation the applications to participate in this? What does the education piece look like? What does the software piece look like? Because we're going to undergo a transition, and eventually at some point, under I think the most ideal circumstances, you'll probably see financial institutions have to change their business model. Existing financial institutions.
Oh,
maybe
they're already changing. Right? They just don't talk out loud. So I love that question, and that's so first to come to your question about well in this space for quite some time. We always anticipate that big mass adoption is coming, and how can we prepare? When it's gonna come? How do we prepare? How can we contribute? Right? I think you hit on something really important is education. We are still the one who are weird when we go to Christmas, or New Year's party. We are still the weird ones.
right.
We are still the minority. When Bitcoin is above, 65K, people like to talk to us. When Bitcoin is below 50K, people think we're scammers, right? So that's the past few years what we have experienced, right? But so I think education is really important. I still don't think right now that there's a good enough or let's say simple enough educational materials out there for easily explain to people what Bitcoin is, why it is so important, right? So I think we all have to do more about that, but I know you two plus Nick, you are doing that. So we need more of you doing that. You explain, not those, I like to call it tech porn. Have you all feel like suffering that when all these guys start tweeting about, oh my God, especially when the Bitcoin L2 bit VM and all this stuff, it's just like, yo, just tell me what is this for, right? Right. So let those developers talk their techie language, but you all should do more of those shows to make it fun, telling people why this is important, what it's for, right? So that's first thing is education. Second thing is about mass adoption. Well, I came from TradFi. TradFi are already adopting blockchain, right? There are two things. One is the technology, blockchain, crypto. The other one is about the assets itself. So that's pretty distributed. When people tell us, oh, JP Morgan hates crypto, hates blockchain, it's garbage. JP Morgan was the first one who came up with this blockchain. They even issued their own stablecoin for their own cross-border transaction, right? If JP Morgan hates stablecoin, why did they issue their own stablecoin? Right? So they are already adopting blockchain crypto technology, in particular for the cross-border payment. It's happening, right? UBS, Goldman, they're all on it. The next is about transaction. It's about, settling or buying, selling, settling, for example, treasuries, very, very liquid market. And it is also already happening. So that's about the technology. I would say the mainstream finance or TradFi already adopting it. Visa, they are all over the place, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is about the assets itself. The asset itself, because of the BlackRock's ETF, that's really, really the huge step forward. Yeah. Why do you think that ETF is important? A lot of people say, yeah, no, the Bitcoins are being bought by BlackRock. It's not your Bitcoin. But think about this. Your mom, your dad, they have, let's say, savings in 401k, right, in our country, right? They can't go buy Bitcoin, right? They have to have the exposure through certain, wrappers that is legitimate, right? For those financial advisors to go to purchase for you. So that's a huge first step. And second step is about, those institutions, they can't just buy Bitcoin ETF because it's very capital intensive. The whole finance is about leverage. I know for a lot of people it's a dirty word, but think about leverage. It's really like the oil for the engine, that the engine can run faster, right? Because you leverage. You don't need $1 to buy $1. You can say, okay, I have enough collateral. I have $1 here. I can go to buy $2. That's what options are for, right? With that oil, the Bitcoin finance will really, grow much faster. So I'll say from the asset point of view, Bitcoin is happening. So I would say technology, mainstream, particular banking and Visa, credit card are all into it. Asset-wise, we are starting to see the adoption. The next will be Ethereum. The next will be, other really good asset for people to have the exposure to it. But I think the third one is that where we are here for, right? Is that how can you really expand, deepen Bitcoin economy, not just holding the Bitcoin, buy, sell Bitcoin, and then stacks or Alex, right? How can you make sure that Bitcoin being the oldest chain, being the one with an impeccable track record as a chain and as an asset, how can you give Bitcoin holder more use cases, right? So Bitcoin holder, we love our Bitcoin. It's very hard for us to use our Bitcoin. I want to hold my Bitcoin dearly, right? You need to give them use cases. You need to give them security. You need to give them yield, right? So all these things are what all of us here on your show. That's why we are building. Okay, so now where does Alex, Xlink, or Lisa come from, right? Because I would say it's really a evolving story about us because we were the first one building Bitcoin DeFi. I mean, 4 years ago, you tell people we are building Bitcoin DeFi, people laugh their teeth out. It's number one, what the heck? Why? What for? DeFi is on Ethereum. What the heck are you doing? You can't do it. And, people just laugh it out. Now it's really, Bitcoin DeFi is this catalyst of this particular bull run. So Alex started really as a DEX. Okay, rightly so. You said that people can exchange their risk, right? When they feel risk, they feel a little bit less risk loving, so they are more risk averse. They change to stablecoin. When they are more risk loving, they go to all these funky meme coin. They want to participate in those fun stuff with the community. So it's a great way for people to exchange the risk. So it's like it's almost like a number one place you would go, right? But then you also want to think about, okay, we talked about this before. You don't want stacks or Bitcoin to be very isolated. You do want to onboard, from Ethereum. There's a huge amount of DeFi users from Solana, right? You want to onboard, and Apto is coming, Sui is coming. You want to onboard all these people. You want to get them to participate in your Bitcoin economy. So you need a bloody bridge. And then 2-3 years ago, we asked Stacks Foundation and also, other associate institutions, can you guys build a bridge? We did a bridge and we need USDT, we need USDC, those stablecoin. They're like, oh, we're so decentralized, we don't build stuff. You guys have to go or find someone to build it. So we had to our poor devs roll the sleeves and build a bridge, and Alex becomes so complicated. So we say, okay, we need a community vote to see if we need to spin it out, because bridge economy is very different from DEX economy, right? So we spun out, we call that X-Link. So now if you have time, you will be shocked to see how much X-Link has built, and hopefully end of October, early November, the team is working hard on the new app, new website, and the white paper will come out. Basically, X-Link is going to be the chain abstraction for you, right? So everything is settled on Bitcoin, all the transaction is settled on Bitcoin, but you won't feel that you as a user need to go through all these technical questions. Which bridge you want to go to? Is that what you want to do? It's going to be, we call it intent based. You say, okay, I want to swap stacks, 10 stacks into, I don't know what, X, meme coin on one of the Ethereum L2 that we have links to. So it's going to be, user won't have to face those technical challenges about the bridge. So it's all about intent, how they want to swap. So you have Alex who does all the engine of the swapping DEX, but you have X-Link is really the plumbers. I like to say the plumber. So X-Link is not very sexy. It's plumbers. Sorry, plumbers out there. I'm not saying you are not sexy. I say that I don't find plumbing sexy, right? It's all the dirty works behind, right? So X-Link is going to bridge all this stuff. So X-Link is bridged to pretty much all the Bitcoin L2s that at the moment are already mainnet. By the way, Bitcoin L2, we have to talk about that as well, right? So X-Link is already hooked up with Bitcoin chain, the main chain, Stacks, all the Bitcoin L2s, EVM, Binance, and then what, Near is coming. I'm just dropping some alpha here. Near is coming. I know people want Solana. That will be the after Near, right? So all these are coming. And then now let's talk about use cases, right? You do want to have assets. You want people to be able to save. You want people to be able to generate yield. And that's where Lisa come from. I love Lisa. Lisa stands for liquid staking for all, right? So it's not that it's trying to compete with Stacking DAO. Stacking DAO has its own very, very unique heavyweights on stacks, right? It stack your stacks and it give you the liquid version of it. So I would say Lisa's purpose is really for the whole Bitcoin ecosystem. If you are building something and the token, the asset can be, L2 can be dApps, right? You want to make it a stake token that you want to give your user the yield, and you want to give them the liquid version of it. Lisa is a place to go. So at the moment we have Stacks, we have Alex, we will have Bitcoin coming very soon. I'm so excited. We call it LIA BTC. What it is that you have Bitcoin, you can deposit, and then on Lisa, and Lisa basically is going to Babylon, get a Babylon staking yield, and get back and give you the LIA BTC so you can accumulate a yield. By the way, so the yield is not in BTC itself. The yield is really all these POS chains that use Babylon as a staking platform, right? So and then very soon, I'll say maybe end of the year, early next year, the team is also building. That's what I'm most excited. I was telling Munib a few things last time when we were in Denver. I was crying to him. He was like, let's do it then. I was telling Munib that, if you want to build something for the sake of building, you can go to any chain. There are other chains that are more, funky, vibrant, Solana or Apto. But if you really want to impact people's life right away, you have to build on Bitcoin and you have to build on Stacks. That's one thing I told him. He really loved it. The second thing I told him is that we need the real world yielding stable coin. We don't need those, your yield come from, shorter futures, you get the basis when things break down, everything break down. You need to give them access to dollar yield, right? Real world asset, we call it RWA, right? The story I like to tell is, number one usage of a Nigeria household, why do they want to save in dollar? Number one, they cannot access dollar. Number two, they cannot have dollar account, but they need to save in dollar. That's why they go to stablecoin. They save for their kids' education because they want the kids to go to get educated overseas, right? And when they save those stable coins, I know there are a lot of centralized exchanges are offering them some yield, but would it need to be great if they can do it in a permissionless way?
Right.
They can save them on Lisa. So Lisa is going to give them the actual dollar yield, not those, DeFi token yield. It's really actual US Treasury yield, right?
Right.
And
Well,
they can use that to save.
In an honest economic system, that yield will also, you should be able to beat inflation, or at least kind of match inflation, so they're not losing their wealth while they're trying to save. So that's a huge piece of it right now. The reason they want dollars is because their native currency is inflating at an impossible rate. So that's why they need the dollars. But the dollars are also kind of inflating pretty rapidly. So you have to have yield, or you're losing ground.
Absolutely. Yeah. So with all this, I say so much. I always like to say these are really three actors, right? You have Alex, which is really the engine of all the exchanges and swaps. You have Xlink, which is a plumber that really plumbs through all the different chains, give you those chain abstraction, so you can swap through Alex easily from one chain to the other chain without you even knowing, right? We call it chain abstraction. And you have Lisa really there. The Lisa team is issuing, the platform is issuing, yielding assets that you can use it as a liquid form in other DeFi activities. So that's what we have been busy with. And then this end of this year, with Nakamoto next Tuesday, cross fingers.
I think my understanding is that it's kind of almost past the point of no return. It's going to happen now. They've already released the. I'm
knocking the words. Here's the words. I'm knocking it.
No, we're ready.
Chip and Monkey mentioned earlier today that they've already released the binary to the devs. So the binary to the devs means that it's a go. It's going to happen. Now we're knocking on wood just to make sure that it goes well.
Yes, exactly. Because a little bit here and there hiccup is normal, because this is like the biggest upgrade Stacks ever has, right? So it's normal to have a hiccup here and there, but as long as we all can manage it, it's okay. So just so you know that because of this, we want to be very cautious. We're going to announce that I just heard from the dev team that we are going to announce that we might put just a few hours of maintenance mode, just make sure everything is okay, and then we'll put on the mainnet again.
Yeah, no, it's important that it this is so big, and it's so big in the actual bull cycle that it does have to go off. So that's why it never really bothered me that it was delayed. It's better to delay and have it right than to push it too early and have something catastrophically go wrong. So it's exciting.
If you only have these two choices, I agree, but we have a third choice: is get it bloody done.
Very true. I have an interesting question. What will Nakamoto unlock for Alex and for Lisa and for X? What will it unlock for you?
Yeah. So number one is that, have you used the DeFi on Stacks right now? It's embarrassing.
Yes.
Is that okay? You swap something, you can make 2 coffees in the meantime. Sometimes you can cook the whole meal.
Very true.
Old-fashioned oatmeal.
Yeah.
And some sweating.
Yes, I was right. I mean, just think about you can do all the DeFi, but you know it's settled on Bitcoin, the most decentralized chain, where the the truth is stored, and all this. You want to do it there, right? If I give you two choices, say your transaction are settled on Bitcoin, same speed, same everything, liquidity and then slippage, everything, and then you have another chain, right? You would choose Bitcoin. That's
Every
just
time.
so beautiful, Bitcoin, right? So that's number one. So we hope that the you have a new surge of users coming, right? So that they would be interested to participate, to use all the protocols that are currently building on DeFi. Number two is you want use cases, you want assets issued on Bitcoin, on stacks, right? So SBTC coming, you want stable coin, you want other stuff. And then you want, suddenly the whole financial engine start being oiled, is that you want lending, borrowing. I know, for example, Zest has something, and then there's a big stuff coming out from Granite or whatever they call it's coming. Also lending, borrowing is also the basic of the finance. Right, so you want to be able to lend your Bitcoin, borrow stable coin for whatever usage you want to go to participate in meme coins, trading competition. You don't want to sell your Bitcoin, you can do that. Or so that's really important. So give people the functionality. Then the finance become really like a machine, right? It works. And then what we are very excited about is also more builders coming. I mean, we're all survivors here.
Right.
We survive. We not only survive winter, we survive stacks, right? So we are all survivors here, but we want more good builders coming, right? There's so many use cases for Bitcoin, the blockchain itself. It's not just about DeFi. There's a lot about other stuff, right? I know meme coin now, because of Solana is a really big subject now. How you bind a community, how you decentralize, through meme coin. These are all very interesting experiments, and we want them to come to experiment on stacks. But what I want to say, absolutely from bottom of my heart, is that over the past 2 years, our team has spent so much energy reading all the possible Bitcoin L2s, GitHubs, white papers, talking to them. I think they are like, at the moment, there are like more than 500 names out there. They claim they are Bitcoin L2. Stack is still one of the best one, right? It has its own code base. It has it started with a great team. It's tech wise, right? It's really ahead of everybody else. So
Yeah, 100%. We're not we love stacks. Obviously, everyone on this panel is a huge stacks supporter and involved in the community in a number of ways, all of us, to help out and grow the community. But we are also in a decentralized space. So we recognize, like, Babylon's providing some really awesome tools that Stacks doesn't quite offer right now. So, you're always going to have players that do things differently, that you want to work with everybody, right, in the decentralized space, or everyone that's providing value. And there's lots of opportunity and room for people to provide value. One thing I wanted to get back to is you and Jack had both been talking about, education and onboarding people. And one of the projects we're working on, one of the many things that have come out of the recent D Grants project, the recent D Grants cohort that Hero Gamers are running, is the Stacks Link project, which you have recently actually come on as an advisor to, a little bit, helping us out with the Stacks Link. And one of the charges of the Stacks Link, well, it's twofold, really. It's one, to provide a means of providing support channels for projects and builders and artists and developers in the space, by means of all nature of stuff. So we have people in the space that are giving some guidance on communications, or understanding DeFi, or there's even Electra Frost is working with us and can provide some, accounting audit guidance and stuff like that. And we're providing all of that stuff for the space. And then the other piece that we're working on is also providing educational opportunities and content for onboarding new users. Like Jack had said, trying to educate these people and provide at least some kind of a centralized place to go that from a trusted provider in touch with the community based, where people can come and learn how to use a wallet and what is Bitcoin, what is stacks, how do I stack my stacks, what is, and just kind of get them educated, and also kind of just be a curator of the ecosystem to the focus of making sure that when users do come in and onboard, that they have good and safe experiences so that they stay in our ecosystem. And then also there's a ton of educational pieces that have come out of D grants and or just rising up in the system for devs. It's not just about bringing good devs. Stacks is doing a lot right now to make good devs. The Sam's Stacks Lab project down in Africa, and the Clarity Working Group, and we have Gary Zero to Clarity Group, and No Code Clarity, and we're building all these tools to help people get more engaged in that kind of stuff too. So it's really, there's a lot of stuff shipping, and there's a lot of stuff in the Stacks ecosystem that's building up beyond just applications. There's a community organization piece coming, and I think that's a huge factor in making sure that we are able to both onboard users, make sure they have good experiences, and then connect those users to the projects and to the devs. That's happening right now, which is super exciting. It's something that I think has been lacking in the space.
Well,
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
You've traditionally had, especially on Stacks, you've had developers and you've had community, right? And you both do different things and try to do so in under ideal circumstances in support of one another. The community tries to support the dev tries to make good things to make the community grow and become stronger. And so what Peace is talking about here is, a meeting point in between to where now you have a better flow between the two. But what I wanted to ask you something real quick is we see, because as you said, and it's funny, but it's just the way the world works. TradFi has been investing in crypto infrastructure and, for their own purposes, but while publicly kind of fudding crypto to try to, this is why the decentralization part is so important, because I think that there's a risk that you have TradFi now just goes from being in control of one aspect of finance, the aspect of finance we've always grown and lived under, and then having too much control over the decentralized part. So, things like Xlink and Alex and these kind of decentralized exchanges and software, that's really where my attention and so many's attention have been focused, because that's going to be the bulwark against just, this just becoming, now it's just JP Morgan online. It's just JP Morgan on a blockchain. It's just Morgan Stanley on a blockchain, because in order to send those children to better school, from your country in Nigeria, you should be able to operate with this stuff without any interference, right? You should just be able to essentially at its pure level, peer-to-peer transact and participate in your financial services. So when it comes to that part, and I know it gets political, but what's the thing that we really should focus on to help content that spirit to grow and that understanding to kind of proliferate and continue, so that we can make sure that we stay closer to Satoshi's vision, which is peer-to-peer decentralized finance. Like what can we do as a community to help with that? And what can developers do to help with that?
I think a currency is only useful when we all use it, right? You want Bitcoin to be, we in econ we like to call it the home currency. If let's say, if say Jay, you have a second-hand car, I really want to buy it. I hope you can accept my Bitcoin, right? So if down the road the croissant or the the fruit cart vendor will accept Bitcoin or stable coin, then we kind of we got there, right? So
So we make
the
it easier
we
for
make
them.
it easier for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's first thing is that the wider adoption, we are still waiting for that. It's not there yet, right? Because if you want to go off ramp, right, you are starting to get into fiat world. Then that's not what we are building. Really, something parallel to dollar to fiat, right? So that's one thing. Second thing is from the builder's point of view, right? You want to build something that's useful. You want to build something that has use cases, and it doesn't matter what it is. Make the Bitcoin more secure. You build a wallet that is more easier to use on our phone. You want to build DEX. You want to build assets. You want to build using Bitcoin stacks. To build different kind of community driven activities. You want to build a prediction market. You want to build a prediction that people can use Bitcoin stacks or Alex to predict. We call it bet or predict. But this is something that is not happening yet on stacks, right? So I think these are make your Bitcoin safe, useful, and you can generate yield. You have some asset that you can generate yield. I would say these are what the builders. I come from finance, so that's the only thing I know. I would say that's what I would love to see more use cases. And then again, there should be more DEXs on stacks and on Bitcoin, right? At the moment, you have only really Alex and Villa and Bitflow to a certain extent because they aggregate it. More is better, right? And we compete, we make each other better. There will be more assets coming, and it just we like to say rising tide raise all the boat. It is really, really true. We suffer so much, for 2 bloody years as one of the only ones. We're really, really nervous about it, right? Now you have more, right? So for example, Villa is, they have great meme community. We're trying to compete with them. So we're coming up with something. Our community leader is coming up with something fun for the meme project to compete. So these are use cases. But ultimately, money is important. Runway is important as a builder. And I hope, talking to your guys about, helping the project I want to come to build on stacks, I think because, I have been just in this industry for so long, I would love to help that. Rachel and I, we have a Bitcoin lab. And because we know the ecosystem builders well, they will come to us, want to build stuff together with us, we know well. And sometimes the first check is the most difficult to get. And we are there to help you, right? We write you a check. So we already invest in Rider, and a few other really exciting projects. Some are really for the security. Some are really for, like a Rider, they are going to be a hardware, right? So it's very, very different thing, but they are helping the Bitcoin economy. So money is a big issue. We can't. I remember when we started, there were founders. They were really questioning how much they should pay themselves because their kids need to eat, right? So these are hardship that we are all happy, married, supporting each other on Twitter on those rooms. But there are a lot of hardship that I totally get it. Also, first-hand experience as a founder. So that should have a space that where we can talk about it and support each other, right? Open each other's address book. Say, oh, this investor should be interested in what you are doing, right? And then from user point of view, you're absolutely right. Right now, I think most are just pump and dump trading. You go to those community channels, right? You want them to have talk about finance and not just holding this coin. You want them to use it. right? So I think ultimately that's what you guys are doing, right? You want the user to feel safe using certain applications. You want builders to come to have almost like this is the first place you come, right? Is your Stacks. It's the first place you come. If you're interested in Stacks, that's really the first place, the first people you need to call, the first place you need to come and just to check out how you should start, immerse yourself into the Stacks ecosystem. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, absolutely. That's and there can be a number of channels like that. It doesn't have to be one. We need that space, and it's building out and it's coming, but it's like anything else, it takes time. But yeah, there's a ton of people bootstrapping in the space right now. And that is actually also one of the other things that we've talked about with StacksLink as far as trying to line up possible, because it's also handling StacksLink is going to be out in front of the D grants process moving forward. I believe we still got to close out this current cohort and see where that goes. But it looks like Good Kitty is going to pick up the mantle where Hero Gamer left off. And also part of that is not just looking at D grants, but maybe other ways of connecting bootstrap builders with funding opportunities. I think StacksLink could actually be, if we're already a hub where we're providing other support services, it's a no-brainer to add that as well. I do want to step back a second before I forget, because I am, I'm a communicator. I love to laugh and I love to make people laugh. And when I have time, which I haven't had much lately, I love to create memes that I think will make people laugh. And you guys are talking. So you said I would be pleased as punch if I could observe and I would participate on both sides in a meme war between Velar and Alex. I think that would be.
Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I mean,
and I think maybe
maybe
it starts with creating some bounties on Zero Authority now to reward the top meme makers or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I think what they are having in mind is that because Alex, you can do self-listing now, right? So whenever you create anything and you have a community and you want to bind those community, yeah, Hero love being word. He's so funny. He loves word, but he's so peaceful. If you know him personally, Hero is that the mildest, the most gentleman. He's anyway, so we are trying to. So I want to say that Alex, you already can self-list, but sometimes you want to create a pool, but you want to also reward your liquidity provider. So now I think they're coming out with something like Surge. I think Chang talked about it a while ago. Is that you want the community to vote and to compete to say, okay, which pool you want them to be on top. You will have more reward. So reward in Alex as well in the meme token, something like that. So want people to really create an excitement about building up, helping out the meme communities, meme project. Let's put it this way.
So if I have a
gamifying.
meme token, if I have a meme token, I can self-list it on Alex now.
Yeah.
I would have.
I
would have to provide
permissionless. I think you have to provide some liquidity in order to have the pool, but itself you don't need the pool. You could just trade, right? So so you could do that, and then you can start, just really excite your company, say they should go to vote. I think the vote is coming soon, and then if you are top rank, then Alex is going to provide you some reward for the LP and farming, and then your project can do that too. Something like that. I think the team, it's very exciting. Yeah, they work a lot over the past few weeks, really just to help meme project, number one, gather their community's excitement, and number two, making sure that the LP pool have farming. Yeah.
You must be familiar with Stack City. and now the bonding curve event that they have, or the
I
bonding curve
love
launch.
that project. Yeah. I don't know the
So
love
cool.
is back to me, but I love that project. It's so cool. And apparently just really just, very limited amount of resource. They build up this stuff. Yeah. I think we work with them. Yeah. Yeah. I love that project.
They launched some of the projects that come out of there can launch on Alex once they come out of the bonding curve. But there's so many new tokens because of that project, even before the bonding curve. But now with the bonding curve event and fair launch, and people don't have to worry about launching a token and holding all of the, what do I do with this pre-mine and how do I handle that? You don't even have to worry about it. You just buy some like everybody else. But there's so many tokens launching in the space now. So do you see? I don't think people are really aware of that they can create a token and launch it on Alex themselves.
So if you go to Alex, the app that you are very familiar with, and there is a place, I think on top of it says self-listing. So you already can list your own token for some time now.
Oh my God!
But what I want to say is, yeah. What I want to say is that
Alex said that first, actually. Yeah.
I also, after 4 years in this Stacks community, I must say Stacks, the community is very fair. They really reward people who have value add, right? Who provide content, and it doesn't matter you're a builder or you're an educator. I remember when we started, nobody knew us, and then we would have all these Stacks OGs. They would just help us, and then every time when we tweet something, they would be there to tweet, retweet, and to comment. So the space where we are compared to others, right, is very friendly. Maybe it's a mild word. I would say it's very fair. It's very, very fair, right? It does reward. I remember when Jack wrote also many articles about different projects, right? That was extremely welcome by the community. So that's my humble experience of these 4 years.
Awesome. Jack's written a ton of Jack's actually one of the biggest reasons I even came into Stacks is I found him on Twitter, and all of the articles gave me like, oh my God, this is
good. Yeah.
Tons of them too. Tremendous. Yeah, he's done a ton of value add for this space with all that he does. But I cut him off. He was going to say something that was probably way cooler than what I had to say.
No, not at all. And thank you. It's cool because, you're right. The community believes in what Stacks can accomplish, and has believed it, early on, as it was just like a young blockchain that is trying to do things and is very limited on what it can do to help. So there's been a lot of bootstrapping by everyone to try to get us to these places. And, we're on the cusp here. And especially when you start bringing tools like Xlink, and then again, you talked about Rider. I think Rider is the iPhone for crypto wallets. I truly believe that. Like, I think that it's going to do more for mass adoption than anything that has been done so far. And because it's going to make things easier, it's going to make things more relatable. It's stylish, it's very, very well designed, but it's going to help onboard people. And again, that leads us to that next part, which is, okay, so this is how the vendor, can take Bitcoin, because now he's got this little device, and if we can, as an ecosystem, continue to support the builders, and the builders continue to bring value that brings more people to the ecosystem and spreads this word, then we can find the best use cases, and then we can even fund even more use cases, because in the scheme of it all, in the scheme of things, we're so early still, even after all this time. When you're talking like when Alex came to Stacks, that was like super early. I mean, we're talking like embryo stage of Stacks.
Yeah.
Here we are now, and I think we're going to see just the explosion from here. And yeah, please, anytime y'all have, messaging to get out or anything, recognize that like DeOrganized media and even more creators are coming on board that we can help get the word out, keep everyone on the same page. And because we've been able to incubate this relatively small community, but it's about to explode in numbers, and it's going to be that much more important for people to be able to know what's going on, who's done what, who's been where, and who's building what. And then when you throw the AI piece in here that is very young but is about to come on the scene in a very big way, we're all going to have to adapt all at the same time, because now we're talking, you're a brilliant human being, and now you're going to have an AI that's going to be like 12 more of you that you can set to do different tasks, and so it's all about to change. So yeah, we just keep the communication up, we keep on building, keep supporting the builders, and again, like even today, I don't think a lot of people watching this show knew about Xlink, knows what's coming for Xlink. So we keep the messaging strong, and just strap in, because our whole perception of this blockchain is getting ready to change dramatically, and we're just on the cusp of it.
Yeah, but also we also have to protect each other, not in a centralized way, but there will be there are lots of noises, and there will be lots of noises coming. Just like what you say, when the user want to come to Stack, I think the first thing they should do is, go to your Discord or your Telegram. If somebody's there holding their hand, making them feel safe, that would be great, because there were some incidents that happened, right? So, we have been in this space for so long. We know a little bit of, the nitty gritty. So that's another thing that I hope together we can create a. Obviously, we always say, do your own research, right? Like a big bowl, do your own research. But if there's
Right.
information
We can
that
provide
you guys can,
tools. We can provide tools to help them do the research, right?
Yes.
And it is, people don't like the word centralized, but there's a room for a centralized entity to kind of help organize these things and be a central point of access, or a point of access, a hub. But it's not going to be a centralized authority. It doesn't own that process. It's just providing those tools there,
information,
resources in a centralized manner, so that people can find them, but not in a controlling way, not in an authoritarian way. It's not about decentralizing everything. It's about decentralizing the control and the ownership and the capacity to interact as you will, so to speak. So that's what we're building out. It is kind of a centralized entity, but centralized in location, not centralized in authority.
We like to say, well, go ahead. Yeah.
I wanted to actually reiterate, or just I'm super psyched about all the connectivity you have on Xlink. I didn't realize it was that extensive. So people can interact between stacks and a bunch of other Bitcoin L2s, EVM,
and native Bitcoin.
And native Bitcoin.
Yeah, native Bitcoin. So very soon the cross-chain swap is coming. So you can swap a cross-chain. It's intent based. Again, you want to fill the bridge, and then very, very soon these are really, you just need one Bitcoin wallet. You can do everything. We call it chain abstraction, right? You don't need, all these different wallets. You remember, like Bridge or MetaMask, that wallet. No, that's all gone. Very, very soon, you just need one Bitcoin wallet, and you can do all this cross-chain swap. And it's because of Alex and Xlink, the plumber, the not very sexy plumber. Sorry. and then Why do you want to do that? Because there are really good assets there that the Visa is going to issue and other builders are issuing right now, that you will have a use case to come to use your Bitcoin. So that's ultimately, I think, end of October, you see a lot of stuff coming out of Xlink, and then Alex, and then Bitcoin Lia BTC, the one you get the Babylon's yield, but you still can use in DeFi. That's coming out early November. And then the USD, the one that gets you the dollar, the treasury yield, the completely permissionless, that one is coming out early next year. And then those cross-chain swap and Bitcoin native most likely is before end of this year.
So
a lot is coming.
The USD product, the stable coin is going to be, is that LiUSD? Li?
They call it DOs. I don't even know what they call it. Yeah, it must be.
Yeah. Oh, that's it's amazing. The amount of capacity and opportunity to engage in decentralized finance that Alex is providing is really amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for dropping all of this on us today. It's been amazing. We've had a tremendous response from the audience. You are extremely well loved. I just want to make sure there was a couple of people that specifically XY0 wanted to make sure you knew he shouted you out and said hello.
Oh,
Zero
thank you guys.
And
I love you so much. I also, I'm going to make me cry. Okay, all of you here, you all made me cry because you know how hard it was past 4 months. You know how hard it was.
Yeah, no,
we never gave up. I wanted to say, Rachel, me, Chang, the whole team, we did not sleep for months. On the one hand, as a DeFi platform, who the heck is going to get the money back from centralized exchanges? I'm telling you, Rachel is really together with the foundation team. The foundation team is working so hard. Okay, we are not giving up. We are doing all our best to get the money back. That's number one. Number two, thank you for all the support and love. You DM me on the Twitter. You support us. You never gave me a hard time. And you know who we are. We never hide. We are here and we are making things so much better. Everything is multi-sig. There's no more, pushing, because a lot of, new stuff coming out, like the stacking DAO with all these smart contract. Every time there's a smart contract, it's multi-sig. There's a DAO that's sending it. We make it so much safer. And for the Xlink, we already hired these 2 top-notch, Web3 on-chain, signaling platform that are making sure things are good. So lots of stuff coming out, and never one day we will say, okay, we're giving up, we're leaving. No. And then after we reopen, thank you again for, we are still the bloody biggest DEX on Stack. Thank you. You will be proud of us that when Stacks and Nakamoto is out.
Yeah, we are proud of you. Here you are. Alex is still running. You're still providing all these services and helping us grow our ecosystem. Thank you. And yeah, we know, like, the nature of this space, we don't know what we don't know all the time, right? So we learn and we grow, and if we don't have bad experiences, we can't really grow. It's just the nature of existence. And we come through it together as best we can. And what happened was horrible. It was awful. It was bad for our community. And thank you guys so much for persevering and staying true, because it would have been very easy to give up under those circumstances. So it says a tremendous amount about all of you, that you're still here, that you're still pushing, and that you're still putting out great products. It's awesome. So thank you.
The reality is it's going to happen to someone again, because that's the nature of the space. And so Alex being there and already setting some paths and to try to mitigate the damage in the aftermath of something like that, that's also going to mean a lot. because
yeah, we
as
actually help the other projects. So what happened? Thank you for saying that. Right after, our dev didn't sleep, I think for like 2 weeks. We were all on the Zoom 24/7 for a few weeks. They developed this on-chain tracking because Stack doesn't have that, right? So you say chain analysis, they should do it. They don't bloody come to Stacks, right? Don't have that. So we really from the scratch, we developed this on-chain tracking, so we can track any wallets, right, that has these stolen funds. And we now have a script. We know how to talk to the central exchange, making sure, number one, those on-chain wallets are tracked, and number two, fund move to central exchange, you start talking to central exchange very quickly so you can freeze the fund. So again, I don't wish this to happen to anybody, okay? But if you need it, call PeaceLoveMusic, call Jack. They know where to find us, or DM us directly. We are right on there. We're helping. We actually help the other project. Very,
when
very
it was a
quickly.
smaller scale, but
Yeah.
a month, 6 weeks ago, something similar happened to a DAO called Charisma, and there were Alex Dev was in the group chat when it was happening in real time, deploying these tools, making it able to find out where these funds went and contact the exchanges and everything. And because again, it is going to happen, and we have to stick together as a community and support each other in the best ways we can, because it's the nature of what we do. Anytime you're going to have explosive growth, you're going to have people trying to be bad actors and exploit them. And we're going, you have the biggest target on your back because you spent the time in the trenches building and making Alex as big as it is. And so, thank you for your perseverance, and thank you for, everything all this time. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And but on a good note, I mean, we have a lot of positivity, a lot of good things to look forward to.
Love that conclusion. Thank you. Love you guys. Love everybody, on the chat sending me all this encouragement. Love you guys.
You know what? I just can't think of a better note to close this out on, right? We're looking forward. We learn from our past. Even the most tragic circumstances can have amazing results moving forward, and good things come out of it no matter what, as long as people keep moving forward. And that's what you guys have done. You've carried on. You've done an amazing job. And you're a great actor in the space, like a bunch of other people in this space. And it's actually why I'm so encouraged about the future of Stacks, because we have people like you, people like Jack, people like Haddy, who we just keep, myself too, I'll pat myself on the back. I'm perseverant. I keep going. Sometimes one of my earlier shows, I did a 15-minute segment live broadcasting with no audio, and I was by myself, so I didn't know. And it's embarrassing, but you just get up and you do it the next day. You just keep going. And that's the spirit we have here. We're all supportive. We're all supporting each other. And Chiente, thank you so much for coming out and chatting with us today. I really loved this. I think it was great. Thank you, Jack and Haddy and Nick at Bitcoin Live for handling everything in the back end and making it much easier. So I'm not bringing up images and stuff like that. It makes it go very smoothly. And I love what we're building here. The whole community, everything. Alex, the Root community, Haddy's actually doing some work with Zero Authority down now. And everything else that's bouncing out of all of these things. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm looking forward to continuing to use Alex and as part of my DeFi portfolio. I use Alex. I still do, and I have continued to use Alex all along. And I'm super excited to continue using it and see how big Alex comes back over the bull cycle that we're really just entering into. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to give you guys both a chance, or all three of you a chance, to have a last word. So, you know what, Haddy, you've been a little quiet. What do you got for us? Any final words?
Hey, I've got so many questions, and with all the things you're going to be launching, we really want to have you back, because I think the community needs to hear these things. And what I really want to tell you, after listening and being very quiet, and I was very quiet because I let the two experts talk, I'm super proud of what you've accomplished. I must really admit that I'm so proud. Not only have you gone through something as bad as you did, not only did you do it with your head held high, you also built tools to support the community, and you put the community first. And for that, I can only give you so much gratitude. So thank you very much. And you kept building. Insanity, you kept building. And you're coming out with these wonderful tools. So please, would you come back and talk to us some more about these tools?
Yeah, well, and I grab maybe Rachel or Chan with me, because Rachel is she's such a fantastic co-founder, and she's the one. We all work on on Zoom, on Twitter, on Telegram. She made sure she's the one. She's the reason why we built so much and so fast. Really, she whipped everybody, including me. We have to get her out.
You need those people. You guys are always welcome. Our door is always open. We're happy to have you guys come out. We do the morning show. You could even come on. It doesn't have to be a long hour session, although sometimes I get chatty and it goes. Jack and I will be on there for like 2 hours sometimes just talking. But you guys are welcome to come in, and you guys are welcome to come on anytime.
Nobody does the laundry. You just chatted to her. Nobody does the laundry, huh?
I've been known to wear the same shirt for a couple days in a row.
Well, that's why you have two sides. You just, turn it inside out and it's still clean. You're good.
Oh my God.
That's
ladies out there, here you go. Here are your sexy plumbers there on screen.
No, thanks for chatting. It's been a pleasure corresponding with you throughout the years, and I am like super thrilled to see where we're at as an ecosystem. I feel like all of the groundwork that's been laid is finally going to pay off, and congratulations on all the building, and we're looking forward to seeing what's coming next, because just the news you dropped today, people have to digest that and understand what that means for them, because that's a lot of new opportunities opening up for the ecosystem.
Yeah, and I want to again, my heart is full. Thank you for including me, and thank you for never bash me, fight me, and always being so supportive around us, the whole Alex team. And you will see that you just need a Bitcoin wallet, and you can do all these transactions and underlying smart contract stacks. That's what we are doing. You will be proud of it.
Yeah,
amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Super happy to support you. Thank you so much for coming on today. I love the space. I love what you guys are building. I love the energy and the never give up attitude. That's why we're going to make it, because we just keep going, and ain't no little thing like that's going to stop us. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. We've had a tremendous turnout. Everyone in the chat too. So great. Such a great time. Thank you, Alex. Go on to Alex, check them out. You can bridge your BTC, native BTC in there right now and start deploying it in DeFi. So, what are you waiting for? I am PeaceLoveMusic. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Haddy. Chiente, I'm so glad we had a chance to have an awesome conversation. This has been better than I could have imagined, and we'll have to do it again soon. Thank you, Nick from Bitcoin Live. Decentralized broadcasting is how we're coming at you. Nick, take us out.